Well, I mean, that's simply going to be something that mayor and council has to decide which way to go. I mean, I was basing it based on what Carolina Healthcare System told me. I mean, they don't like handling it that way. It will be an extra charge, and at some point they may even discontinue allowing us to do it because they do only have one company. But technically, to answer your question, it is allowed.
10 is just a lot less than 70.
These other companies, because I read this, there was another one in the Charlotte Business Journal here this year in July. I notice this goes back to 2011. Have you heard any results as far as companies or cities that have gone to this program? Anything that's measurable in a positive or negative?
Well, I know I haven't for Lincoln County because they just started the program. As far as Salisbury, I was thinking they gave some, trying to find it, I was thinking they gave some actual information in that article.
While you're looking at, in April of this year, when a similar type article came out in this magazine, that was one of the questions they asked, how do you measure it? So that's something that whether we do it tonight or whether if we choose to do it at the budget workshop, it would be, I'd love to see it measured, just to see if it is a success or not.
Right, and I think the answer to that, Mayor, would be the only way to really measure it would be to see if you had a decrease in your premiums.
Yeah.
And you know, another thing I would point out about this, you know, a lot of agencies now are even setting parameters the employees must meet to keep their insurance. We're not requiring you to lose X pounds or do this or whatever. The only part of the program we're doing is just simply requiring the screening. What you do with it is your choice. But definitely the trend in health insurance in an effort to keep premiums down is going more and more toward, you know, getting your workforce healthy. And we've had a couple of years of, you know, high claims. And of course, in our situation, those can be driven by non-employees, I know. But there's a lot of agencies going a whole lot further in this effort than what we're proposing.
You know, it seems in my profession, and the word has come up quite often, is the word preventative. If you find out a problem early, you are preventing serious consequences later on. And this is what a simple drawing of the blood is what we're interested in. And I believe you gave us some examples where someone was able to be diagnosed as having a particular disease. If it were not diagnosed, it would be a tremendous drain on our insurance policy, and we're paying that. So I think it's a matter of weighing what is preventative. And I hate to keep referring to my profession because that's what I'm familiar with. A person that comes in, they a lot of times complain about having every 6 months checkups, but if you find an item that's small, it prevents a large item later on. And I think we're talking principle here, and I'm wondering if $8,000, $8,500 maybe, is the issue that does it even come close to comparing what we would save if we diagnosed one person, let alone 3 or 4 or 5 of our employees? And I think we owe it to the employees to at least let them have the option to have this program.
But I think a piece here we've kind of agreed the lines. We do this now. We have the screenings now, which you said are done every fall. So we have a wellness plan in place. So we're doing that.
Okay.
And correct me when I'm wrong, but we're having the screenings now. We're doing it every fall. The only thing this new wellness plan is doing, or wellness initiative is doing, the way I understand it, is adding the next step of the coaching, correct?
Yes.
Correct. And so now, so the cost is an added cost of this $86.40 per year, which is based on 32 people, which we just heard 50%. So to me, that number's skewed from the get-go, because if I'm hearing 50% from you participation, then that's...
Let me try to clarify that the 50% of the people that are using their wellness benefit.
Yeah.
We're not saying 50% are going through the screening. It's about 50% that use their wellness money
Well,
some way or another.
Either way, so but we're doing the screenings currently. The only thing this wellness initiative is doing is adding the coaching piece to it. That's the only change. So we're not, and I agree with you, I'm not for saying cut out the screenings. But to me, if we're doing the screenings anyhow, we're adding another piece that's saying, okay, now it's gonna cost us money, or it's gonna cost the employees money at 3% of their premium if they don't go through with the coaching, as we were told. So the difference is, we're adding another piece to it, which my argument would be, can they not get that on their own from their own doctor or their own physician, instead of us telling them who they have to go to?
I'm really wondering, I mean, how many actually have medical doctors lined up? If they've done, if the screening is done, a disease problem shows up in the blood, I'm wondering how many of our employees actually, other than, say, department heads and so on, really have lined up regular physicians. And I'm not suggesting we do a study by no means, but think in those terms.
I do know Dr. Kleinger. I mean, I truly have no idea how many of our folks. I have no way of knowing that. But I do know in that all of these conversations that we've had with the folks from Carolina's healthcare system, and they work with this stuff day in and day out, they told Tanya and I that you would be shocked at the number of employees who do not have a primary care physician. Because I'm like, well, surely everybody has a personal physician, and they said you would just be shocked. So I don't know a number though.
I think one thing we can't lose sight of either is the fact that you're looking for ways to lower our overall cost of health care for city employees. And even though this is an $8,000 charge up front, that's sort of a spit in the ocean where if something bad happens to somebody.
This is just another piece of the pie, Mayor, of what we're trying, to do to lower our costs. I mean, we hope we made great strides in January when we, revamped the program and changed it. And this is just another piece. This is not going to solve it at all. And like I said, it's long term. But our goal is just to get the employees to a screening and make sure that they're healthy.